Hello traders, it is Wednesday evening, April 24th, and that means that it's time for my weekly video. I have so much to show you tonight. Let's get started. First, I want to take care of some housekeeping. www.oneoption.com is where you can get Option Stalker. I rarely discount it. I'm going to reduce the price to $349 per quarter through Sunday. So you'll be able to save $50. Again, I rarely discount it. This is a good deal. When you see what Option Stalker can provide you with, you're going to want to sign up. So I hope to have you on board. This is the S&P 500. Lots of earnings coming out this week. We've got a new all-time high on the market yesterday, and today we were able to hold those gains. I like to start every week off with a review of my prior picks. These were from the last webinar. I'm going to click on lists, and I'm going to go down to Wednesday, April 17th. These are all the stocks I highlighted for swing trading a week ago. I do not cherry pick. Let's take a look at the first one, CSTM. You can see earnings today did very well, broke out through this horizontal resistance level. I like this stock for tomorrow for swing trading. Like this horizontal breakout right in here. It's a relatively cheap stock. It's a $10 stock. So your stop would be right at that level right there. I'm going to draw a crosshair there. That is the 974 level. I think even right in here, just around the $10 level, this is a good entry point. Nice volume, good earnings reaction. Shot higher and pulled back a little bit today. I'm not overly concerned about that because the market also pulled back today. CSTM from the webinar or the video that I recorded last week has done well. INFY was a short that we were looking at. Before I go any further, let me overlay some moving averages. I'm going to click on SMA, put the 200-day up, put the 100-day up. We needed to get below this 100-day moving average. We had earnings last week. We had a big decline. We needed to get below that 100-day. I put a GTC alert right there. I'm going to keep it there. Never triggered. Stock bounced off of that level and it's continuing to grind higher. For anyone that's a short-term trader, this would be a buying opportunity because it's likely to fill in this gap. On a longer term basis, there's no momentum. It's pretty sideways. So I would not suggest this for a swing trade, but for day trading tomorrow, if it can get into this gap, you betcha. So what I'm going to do so that I'm aware tomorrow, I'm going to put that alert right at the high from today, and that also would be above this horizontal support level, and it will start filling that gap. So there could be a nice day trade in there for me. So stock number 2, INFY, no action, never triggered. And we didn't want to do any short positions. The market was bullish. As I mentioned to you last week, it's always nice to have a token short so that if the unexpected happens in the market, we have something we can lean on. JPM, you can see the breakout here. It's been able to hold the gains. I like it. Looks like it's going to continue to grind higher. From the video last week, I told you I want to buy in the middle of this bar right here. You had an opportunity to do that. Hasn't done much. It's inched higher. Certainly not a loser. Coca-Cola. We ran a search. We're going to run that same search again tonight. We're looking for stocks that are announcing earnings 2 weeks out and that have a 75% probability over the last 12 quarters of rallying 2 weeks ahead of earnings and into the number. As I suggested last week, we had Coca-Cola right here on the 100-day moving average. My strategy was the stock doesn't move much. Let's sell some puts. Take advantage of time decay. That would have been a great strategy. You can see how the stock broke out above the 100-day moving average. I think Coca-Cola's got more room to run, but it doesn't really run much. So it's kind of a back and forth situation. I have other better stocks that I'd want to be long now, but that was a nice play for us. XPO was one that I really liked, and I had this horizontal support level right here that I drew, and that's the level that we were going to be buying on. We bought right there. You can see how the stock has continued to move higher. Really nice play for us. 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4. I don't think we've had a losing trade yet in the last 4 weeks that I've been doing these videos. So let's see if we can keep the momentum going here, and we're going to start taking a look for some trades today. Going to click on scanner, going to go to Pop Bull, lots of candidates. You know this is one of my bread and butter go-to searches. I'm not going to use it today. We're going to look elsewhere. I'm going to add 10SI. This is a relative strength index indicator, and it really helps me with my trading. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to click custom search. We're going to look for some custom searches to find trades this week. So what I'd like is good option liquidity. I always like good option liquidity, so I'm going to put a level of 3 to 15. So these will be fairly liquid options. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a quick post earnings analysis. These are stocks that announced yesterday, Tuesday after the close, or today, Wednesday before the open. The point being, this is the first opportunity these stocks had to trade during normal market hours after announcing earnings. We're going to be doing a ton of this in the chat room. This is all I did today. I traded stocks that had announced earnings, and I'm going to show you the setups that I was actually taking advantage of. And why don't I start with the chat room? I'll show you that. There's no one in it right now because we're after hours, and I'm going to scroll back to the beginning of the day. I'm simply going to point out stocks that I traded today in the chat room. I let members know when I was getting in and when I was getting out. I start off with extensive market comments. I'm going to continue to just scroll down through here, and you can see early in the day, CSTM was on my list. Texas Instruments was on my list. Bought Texas Instruments. I did trade BA there. Bought CSX. You'll see these names later. TXN again. I was in and out of TXN a number of times today. It was a fantastic one. I continue to scroll down. Took my gains on TXN. And I'm only doing this to verify that these are legitimate trades that are taking place throughout the course of the day. BSX is on my radar, but I never traded it. Bought Snap, SNAP. Snap working. You'll also see some futures trades mixed in here. Didn't do a lot of futures trading today. Did more stock trading. The futures have been pretty tough because the intraday ranges have been compressed. Continuing to go through, you'll see other members posting excellent stock picks as well. KNX took profits. I posted it earlier. I missed that one. I was in and out of KNX a couple of times also. And so we are going to be taking a look at those stocks. And in fact, KNX is one that I think sets up well for swing trading longer term. But let's go back to our search, and I'm going to add another criteria to this. So we're bullish. Ideally, I'd like to see a stock that has announced earnings and that is higher than the prior day's high. That would be excellent because it tells me that the reaction to that earnings announcement is very favorable. We'll look at this. I've got 3 stocks. We'll take a look at all 3. KNX and TXN are 2 of them. And those were focal points for me all day. I didn't have 15 stocks that I was following. I didn't need 15 stocks to follow. I would rather follow two stocks that are super strong and be in and out of them. So we'll take a look at eBay first. I'm not a huge fan of eBay because it moves at a snail's pace. It's really, really slow. And a breakout like this, you can see a beautiful breakout on eBay right here, and then it falls right back down. So this stock doesn't move much. This is a nice looking breakout here. If it can gain some traction, perhaps I would consider it, but I am not a big fan, so I'm just going to put a GTC alert up here. If it can get through the high, I'll take a look at it, but I'd rather focus on something else. So the other stocks are KNX. This I like. Nice steady trend higher through the 100-day, through the 200-day. Good volume even before earnings. So leading up to earnings, the volume's picking up. Great relative strength on a buy signal through that horizontal resistance level. Closes close to the high of the day, and the market actually closed lower. Those are all really good signs. So KNX is going to be one that I think sets up well for the next at least 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So it's a really nice swing trade. I'm going to click on M5, and again, earnings, post earnings, stock above prior day high. Those are the two criteria that I'm watching. Stock comes out of the gate strong, and I'm watching it down in this level right in here, and it just not that strong relative to the market. You can see the orange line is waffling around, but in here, the stock starts to gain traction off of this support level right here. This is when I got long the first time. I took profits right in here at the prior resistance level. It bumped up again, then I saw it pull back, and here I'm watching the relative strength build and build. See the buy signal there? See the relative strength there? I caught that move. That was an awesome move. That was a $1 move on a $35 stock. That is big when you're day trading. Let's take a look at TXN. I love earnings season. We have so many great plays. The price action has lots of follow through. This is a moment of disequilibrium. There's a price discovery process that's taking place, and that means there's heavy volume and it's pushing the stock in one direction. We want to capitalize on that. Here you can see a very big bullish engulfing pattern today. I knew Texas Instruments started off on a low note. It looked like it was going to be down, and I was watching it, and then it came up on my list because it had gotten through the prior day's high right here. Okay, now it's of interest. It's on my radar. So I'm going to take a look at it. Bought Texas Instruments in here. You can see the buy signal right on the open, but I tend to like earnings to unfold a little bit before I jump on board. And there, after the first half hour, we took out the high of the day, caught that move, took profits, waited for the pullback, got long in here, took profits here, got long again in here, took profits here. So you can see the buy and sell signals help out tremendously, along with relative strength, relative weakness. So when I've got relative strength and I'm on a buy signal, hello. I'm also going to overlay the SPY. This allows you to see what the market's doing. I always like to have one eye on the market so that I know what's happening on a macro basis. And here you can see what was particularly impressive. I love this. This is one of my favorite setups. You've got the market falling and you have the stock compressing. That equals relative strength, because normally a stock would be falling along with the market. When you get this, and you can put up the squeeze indicator as well, see how the yellow dots line up here? That means that the stock is compressing in a tight range. It's a spring that is coiled. Market going down, it's able to tread water as soon as the market catches a bid. Whoosh. Oh, those are great trades. Boom, 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 bar after bar. Nothing to shake you out of the position. Texas Instruments on a daily basis, do I like it? Very choppy stock. Look at this. It's back and forth and back and forth. Lots of head fake breakouts. There. Oh, here we go. Nice breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback. So I'd have to say not really. If I can see it build 2 or 3 days of nice momentum here, then perhaps I will consider Texas Instruments for a swing trade. KNX was the earnings announcement today that I liked. So that one goes on our list. I'm only looking for a couple of stocks that I can give you. I suspect I'm going to find more than that, but that really is my goal. This was a post earnings search. So let's notch that up. And this next search I'm going to show you is going to really ratchet up in the course of the next week or two because we'll have had lots of earnings announcements. And I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. So these are earnings date previous. If you are a swing trader, this is your market analysis after hours. So I'm going to look for stocks that announced from April 1st, and I could go April 24th. I'll go to yesterday. I won't go to today's announcements. And I'm going to remove the prior day's high. So this is all we're looking for right now is just show me stocks that have announced in April so far. The point is, so many times stocks rally or they sell off right after the earnings announcement, and you read the number and you think, gosh, that was actually a pretty good earnings report. I wonder why the stock sold off. I would have thought it would have rallied on that news. Well, there was some profit taking. Maybe the results were great, but the expectations were real high. You saw a little bit of profit taking on the number, and then lo and behold, 2 or 3 days later, you see the stock again and you go, holy cow, look at that thing run. It was a buying opportunity, and I missed it. By going back and taking a look at these earnings releases, I can find stocks that are poised to move higher. So what I'm going to also do, look, that list that's big. Now I've got a couple of criteria that I can put up very easily to start sorting things out. Let's look for relative strength, strength versus SPY on a D1 on a daily basis. I'm doing this because we're swing traders. If I'm a day trader, I can narrow my time horizon to whatever I'd like it to be. 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour. Aha. Now look, we've got maybe a dozen candidates or so that we'll be taking a look at. So this stock announced earnings in the last 3 weeks, good option liquidity, good relative strength. Now let's click through here, and some of the stocks might be ripe for a trade right now. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this screen on another monitor, and that'll allow me to click through them more easily. As I see opportunities, I'm going to be dropping GTC lines, okay? So there may not be a trading opportunity right here, right now, but if the stock can get through a particular price point, I'm interested. Choppy, choppy, choppy. No, thank you. Abbott. Interesting. Now, this is a good opportunity because you can see how the stock rallied in a very, very strong trend. You get the earnings announcement here, it drops to the 100-day moving average and instantly reverses back through that 100-day moving average. Well, if I take a look back, I'm going to zoom out for a second. You can see that Abbott is in a longer term uptrend, and you can see how the stock does have a tendency to get overextended on the upside, pulls back to the 100-day moving average, and then it keeps bouncing along but trending higher with that 100-day moving average. So right here, I like this bounce off the 100-day moving average. This is pretty normal for Abbott. We're going to zoom back in so that we can take a look at the chart. Nice big green bars. And mind you, today we'll overlay the SPY. Today we had a little bit of a pullback in the SPY, but the stock rallied up and closed on its high. So I do like this position. I'm going to set an alert, GTC, on the high of the day so that tomorrow when it opens, it'll be on my radar when it gets through the high from today. I want to see continuation. I want to see relative strength. But yes, I would be looking to buy Abbott, preferably in here and not up at the current level. So I'm also going to drop a GTC alert here. I'd rather have it come back and try and get down to that 100-day moving average. This entry point is better than this one, but if the market takes off and the stock continues to rally, it's got room right up until that all-time high, and this pullback could actually slingshot it through that $80 level. So yeah, I like Abbott. I'm going to continue to click through and we'll see if we can find something else. So this is BBT, big drop above the major moving averages. Nothing too interesting for me there. So I'm going to just continue to click through. I'm only looking for one or two more. That's a beautiful breakout. Boom, gone, BX. But that train has left the station. Here we've got a weak stock that's pulled back and bounced. Relative weakness, no interest. Nothing too much going on there. Already I have an alert line dropped here. This is Johnson & Johnson. Starting to pick up a little relative strength. If you can get through this level, we're in. Still nothing I would tell you, yes, right now, today, we have to buy this. Here we go. We got another alert line we can drop right there. Coca-Cola we already looked at. I had mentioned to you the stock doesn't make huge, big, fast moves, so I'm not as interested in that one. Netflix has been trying to get through this resistance level, so I'm going to drop a line right there on the high from yesterday, and you can see this long-term compression. This has taken place almost the entire year, so once it finally gets through, it has a chance to go, but for right now, this is a nice breakout on Twitter. Choppy stock, down, up, down, gappy, gappy. We'll zoom out. You can see there's a lot of just back and forth in it. Not anything that I would want to swing. Certainly I would need a pullback from that current rally yesterday back into this 38.25 level maybe to even be interested. And you'd like to see it hold this gap, and it'll probably float down, find support just above that open, and then the next leg higher will be good. So we can set some alerts down here. If it pulls back to this level, I want to know about it, because then I'm going to start watching it and looking for an entry point here on a swing basis. In future weeks, you may see me highlight it. Not interested there. Not bad. Once it starts to trend, it really trends pretty well. Compression. So above the 200-day moving average. Nothing I'm trading today, but yeah, we'll put an alert there. And finally, Wynn Resorts. Oh yeah, I like that one. Nice compression in here. See the big rally off of this support level through the 200-day, through horizontal resistance, starting to pick up some relative strength. And so we will drop an alert line on this one as well. GTC right there. So if this is what you're doing after hours, you could be done in 5 minutes. The next time you log onto your computer, you might have 4 or 5 pop-ups right in the middle of the screen here. One of them could be Wynn saying, hey, look at me now. I've gotten through a critical price point. Are you interested? You do your analysis. You go, heck yeah. I was waiting for that to happen. It's happened. Stock should have momentum. Stock should have follow through. Let's go. So the search that I used here was earnings date previous, and I used the month of April for my reference point. I don't have to go too much past a week, quite honestly, especially as earnings season's cranking up right now. There are going to be so many releases, hundreds and hundreds of releases coming out in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, that I will be inclined to use more of these filters to narrow down on that stock. So in addition to this, maybe I'd want to mark stock greater than prior day high, which tells me that the stock has been able to move higher even though the market closed lower. That's a nice sign, a really good sign of additional relative strength. Abbott, BBT, and Win were three candidates, so I could have narrowed it very quickly just by adding that one criteria. Let's clear the upper and let's take a look at another earnings search that I love to use. So out of that list, we got Abbott for sure I like. Win possibly if it gets through resistance. Now we're going to unmark the previous and mark the projected. Earnings date projected. And I'm going to go out a couple of weeks. I don't want to do anything for Thursday or Friday because we're already on the doorstep of those earnings. So I'm going to click the 29th and then I'm going to go out to, let's call it maybe May 10th. That'll give me at least a 2-week window right now. Let's go a little bit further. Let's go to the 17th. And I'm just going to click scan. See? Look at all those stocks with liquid options that are going to be announcing in the course of the next 2.5 weeks. There's a lot to go through. Now I'm going to click on pre-earnings bull. This should narrow it considerably. Aha, there we go. These stocks rally 75% of the time 2 weeks into earnings. So if I'm in that 2-week window, the next 2 weeks for this stock, the probability of it moving higher is better than 75% of the time. And this is statistically proven over the course of the last 12 quarters. Very, very, very powerful search. This is how we found Coca-Cola last week. Some of these stocks are going to set up beautifully. So what I can also do, I would like to narrow this list a little bit more, quite honestly. I'm going to be looking for something that's got some decent relative strength right now and try and get us down to, there we go. That's manageable. I can click through these stocks. And what I'm going to be looking for is I don't want anything that's getting buried. I want something that looks halfway decent right now. And these might set up for a nice trade. Too far out of the gate, takeover stock. No, thank you. In a pretty severe downtrend here, not interested. This is pretty good. Nice tight uptrend. You could sell a put spread on Cisco below $56. Make sure it expires before earnings. Disney, too far out of the gate. Boom, done, through. I'm not chasing that one. I like this. This is nice. Okay, you have EA, got a horizontal breakout here, lots of noise and compression and blah, 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 but it bounces off of this 100-day moving average. 92.50, I would sell a 92.50 put. If the stock trades below 92.50, buy back that put. In the next 2 weeks, the stock should grind higher. These puts will expire. There's a stock, EA, that we're going to be putting on our list, specifically selling an out-of-the-money bullish put spread on this one. So when I do my next video, I'm just looking for it to have stayed above 92.50. Folks, please watch the earnings dates because we do not hold trades over earnings. That's a pretty nice breakout right there. I'm going to put it right at the high of the day. Okay, I want it to get through that opening price. Opened on the high, closed on the low, red bar. I'm putting my line right above that because if it can get through it, It's an instant buy. This is a nice horizontal compression, good relative strength, room to run till it gets to the 200-day. Not a big mover, but I like it. Needs to get through that price point right there. I'm not going to put this one on the list. It's a $7.60 stock. I don't trade a lot of those. Google, too far. Just clicking through and looking for something good. Lilly really got nailed pretty hard in here. Gosh, if it were closer to this 200-day moving average, I would prefer to lean on that support. This is actually a very nice capitulation here. You've got a new low. Stock closes above its open on its high of the day. That is a bullish hammer, and it's up the next day. I have a capitulation search I should show you because it's great for day trading. Once you have this, then I run a query and I look for stocks that are above the prior day's high, and those are usually great day trades. Let's see how it's set up today. So once it gets through that prior day's high, it's on the radar. And there we've got our bullish signal. And there you've got a nice little move higher. Very, very tradable. You get to the high of the day, you got to take profits on it, especially without a market tailwind today. So that's how I might actually take a look at a few of those just to show you how these set up for day trading. Nothing there. Really nice momentum, but I wouldn't want to sell any puts. You can see how a lot of these stocks are already moving higher into the number. Nvidia, another nice one. Tight compression in here. Got a little bit of overhead resistance. Into earnings, it tends to rally. So I would sell a put spread right below this horizontal support. I'll put a GTC line here just so you can see it permanently. That's your support level. That's where I would sell a put spread right there. Two more. Roku. Not bad. I don't think the options are real liquid on this. And this you might actually be able to swing trade and buy because it'll fill in that little gap right there. So I'm going to drop an alert line there for tomorrow. Yeah, I think Roku's probably pretty tradable. If there's a put that I can sell, this stock has fairly rich option premiums. I'd be looking to sell at that 52.50 level. Bring up option pricing and see what those options might go for. 52.50s, there's the 54s, see if there's any premium. Oh, they're so wide. Well, $1.91 bid offered at 203, not too bad. So yeah, pretty hefty premium on those. That'd be a nice put sale that you could do. And you can see that the got to watch for the earnings date. Okay, make sure that these options, if you've got weekly options available, which this stock does, make sure you're selling options that expire before the earnings announcement. That way you don't have to buy them in. Plus, if the options expire after the earnings announcement, they're going to retain their implied volatility. So you want to take advantage of that time decay. So Roku would probably be a pretty good put sale. You got this gap in here that it might fill in, so it's not going to be on the top of the list so far. And you've got another choppy one in SQ here. You've got this 100-day moving average that you can lean on. We know it likes to rally into earnings. So now I'm trying to think of which stocks we have that set up well. Now these are bullish put spreads. We talked about Nvidia. We talked about EA, Electronic Arts. We talked about Cisco. Got a whole bunch of them right now. Let me do one more thing. I mean, we got plenty of candidates already. I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't want you to think that, gosh, this is too hard. I've got too many stocks to consider. We can narrow and narrow and narrow these lists. My point is I'm showing you a lot of trades and they're probably all going to work out. So it'll be up to you to decide how many you can manage and which ones you really want to take advantage of. This is one of my favorite searches that I like to run, and it is a day trading search, but man, it is so good. So I'm going to go in, and this was just the list of stocks that we had on our prior search, and that we were using the projected earnings date and pre-earnings bull. These are the two things that we had marked. So we're looking for those stocks that like to rally into the earnings announcement. This is how easy it is to day trade. I mean, I love this search. All I'm looking for is stock above prior day high, liquid options, and I have a way of measuring volume. I'm looking for heavy volume. So stocks above the prior day high, heavy volume, liquid options. If I have these criteria, I am set for day trading. And then I follow my arrows and I follow my relative strength. So let's go into, we can actually look to see, and we will if we've got some good candidates, we'll look to see if there's anything that's setting up for a good trade. Look at this. Above the prior day's high, buy signal, relative strength. Hello. No, I didn't trade this one today. I ran the search, but I had other stocks like Texas Instruments that I was drooling over, so I did not trade that. eBay we knew was a earnings announcement, but you know, really nice. Got to look back to see where that prior day high was, but it got through right in here, and that's where you had your move was later in the day. This is a really nice one. Gets through and goes. KNX was on this list. It was an earnings announcement. I'd mentioned this earlier. Caught that move. Super nice. We had Macy's later in the day, had huge volume on an announcement. McDonald's, there's your buy signal yesterday, opens higher above the prior day's high on heavy volume and relative strength. I know somebody in the chat room was trading this today right out of the gate. Beautiful play. This is just a go-to search. Oh yeah, this was a nice one too. This one caught my attention. This is going to be another stock we look at. STNE I noticed today. There you can see the stock rallying above the prior day's high, heavy volume. Two critical components. Heavy volume, prior day high. Boom. Later in the day, you get this really nice move, and you can see the relative strength building here. As soon as it gets through that prior high of the day, it's gone. So when I look at this early in the day, I take profits in here. I got an inverted hammer, and I'm out in here. Okay, I'm done for a while. But what I do is I click alert when I'm day trading. These are intraday alerts. Okay, so now I'm back. Oh gosh, this looks pretty good. Stock's starting to falter a little bit. It got through that high, but it's not able to do much. So you get out here, and then you drop another alert line here, and then lo and behold, a little bit later in the day, you get a pop-up that comes up and says, remember me, STNE? Yeah, well, I got through the prior high. Oh, hey, we're on a buy signal. We got relative strength. Whoosh. Thank you very much. Really nice. So I want to zoom out on this. Now this is, you can see the alert lines that I have set up here because I was looking at another search that I love to use for day trading, and I'm going to conclude with that because I'm throwing an awful lot of information at you and I got to get this list made for next week. So I'm going to click on the search engine, bring it back into view. I'm going to run a search, so liquid options, clear the upper. I'm going to be looking for a capitulation, a bullish capitulation. We'll run that scan. Look, there's only a few stocks, and STNE was one of them. Now, what this is looking for is it's looking for a uh, low and the stock being able to close above the halfway point of that bar and then the next day exceed the open or the high from the prior day. And in this case, we're right up against that 100-day moving average. And so when I go through these, we're going to look on the daily chart. There may not be anything that really interests me. See, there's the move and there's another move. And if there were something that interested me, I would put an alert right here because I want to see that stock tomorrow above that high. Well, I can query it tomorrow. I'll simply mark this box right here, tomorrow. But for right now, we're just going to look at these stocks to see on a daily chart what looks interesting. So tomorrow, whoops, I'll put an alert there, but I need to have a GTC alert, and I'll put it above the high of the day. It'll have a little room to the 100-day moving average, not much, so that one's pretty tight. But I want to be looking at these stocks tomorrow if they can get through that high. There you've got a stock that just got through the 100-day moving average. There's not much else going on, but I don't really care about this. I just care about this price action here. It made a low and it's bouncing off that low, and I'm just looking for follow through for a day trade tomorrow. Okay, so this is a day trading strategy. And on the list, got JNUG, which we looked at earlier. We'll put that there. And then STNE was the final one. But I like this stock. If it can get through that 100-day moving average right here, I like it a lot. So I'm putting that GTC alert there. This is one that I'd put on the list with the caveat that it's above that 100-day moving average, because if it can get through here, it's got a clean run at that opening, and if it can take that opening out, then it's going to fill in this gap. So I really like this stock for a swing trade. And again, the way that I found it was I was just looking for a capitulation low on a daily basis. Here's another one I love. It's an engulfing pattern on a daily basis. And you can take a look at these stocks. Some of them, well, Texas Instruments, we had a big engulfing pattern on this one. So pardon the disruption in the background. In any case, I need to go in and create a list right now, and I'm going to label this list Wednesday, April 24th. That way everybody knows that this is legitimate when they watch one recording and the other. So we had Abbott that we liked, we had KNX that we liked, we had NVIDIA that we liked, and we had EA that we liked. And those were STNE is another stock that we liked. And so I can't recall all the other stocks that we looked at, but I know that these are enough for us to, we're only looking for one or two stocks per week. Here we've got 5 of them, and some of these, NVIDIA, EA, set up well for earnings announcements that are going to be coming up in 2 weeks. Those are put credit spread opportunities. Cisco, we also looked at selling a put credit spread on as well. So those are our trades for Wednesday, April 24th. The opportunities that we have right now with earnings season coming up are incredible. I hope that you take advantage of the $50 off. You'll see it reflected in the price on the One Option website. So when you log in to subscribe, excuse me, you'll see the price will be $349 per quarter. And we're going to be doing a lot of earnings trades over the course of the next 2-3 weeks. We'll have lots of opportunities. If you are a day trader, I haven't even touched upon trading futures and the indicator that I have for that. honestly, right now with the market kind of being compressed intraday, we're going to be focusing on these stock plays. They're so good, they're so easy. That's what I like to do for the next 2 weeks or so. If you like this video and you got good information out of it, please click the thumbs up button on YouTube so that I get more likes. I hope to have you on board as a subscriber. I'll see you next week. Thank you.